It's 7 o'clock on Monday the 16th of November.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most disastrous bloopers ever heard on British radio.
Actually, living standards is going to be the key
Last
issue that dominates
last
the
time
next
he did
election.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 20. What's so funny? Giggle fits are no joke, and they can come at the most inappropriate of times if you're not careful. Take for example this instance on BBC Radio 4, where presenter Charlotte Green was reading a story about the oldest recording of a human voice.
American historians have discovered what they think is the earliest recording of the human voice, made on a device which scratched sound waves onto paper blackened by smoke.
For whatever reason, this tickled the host, even though she had to read some pretty serious headlines after.
The award-winning screenwriter Abby Mann has died at the age of 80. He won an Academy Award in 1961 for judgment at Nuremberg.
The more she tries to compose herself and continue reading the leading stories, the worse it gets.
Abby Mann also won several Emmys, including one in 1973 for a film which featured a police detective called
Number 19. Picky what? Fair warning, there's going to be a lot of accidental swearing on this list, but let's ease you in with a rather tame one from Radio 1. Jordan North and Vic Hope were presenting their drive time show, Going Home, when the latter fumbled towards the end of the show whilst reading listener comments.
Katie says we're having Greek picky oh no, I'm so picky I think we're done.
Should we just finish?
I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely sorry about that. I was meant to say picky bits. Never gonna work again.
We're sure we're not the only ones who'll be using the term picky tits from now on. Number 18. And now, the traffic. Everyone knows that one of the most important segments on the radio is the traffic. Sally Traffic Bozeman has always been one of the most trusted sources of said updates with her lovely voice and fantastic on-air professionalism. That was, except for this instance. Radio is of course an audio-only experience, but presenter Mark Radcliffe wanted to highlight just how wonderful Sally's hair looked in the studio that day. That's when things went wrong.
And with resplendent new hairdo.
Well, I just, had a bit of a blow job. A blow dry, a wash and blow dry today, because I had an important meeting, so I thought I ought to get it, looking good.
Yeah, probably best we move on and pretend we didn't hear that.
I'm going to do the traffic news now. M66 southbound.
Number 17, a muddy mix-up. The Glastonbury Festival has had notoriously terrible weather over the years, and 2009's edition was no exception. Thomas Schaffenacker, who is no stranger to live on-air gaffes, was set to report the weather conditions for the event that day. It did not go well.
Now, this evening and tonight, we start to see the thundery weather coming in the early hours of the morning in Glastonbury. Some pretty steamy showers on the way, which will give way to quite a muddy sight in Glastonbury.
From that point on, it's impossible for him to get back in the zone.
Into the Midlands. So tomorrow afternoon, we've got quite a thundery day across the Midlands. And eventually we'll see the showers across parts of Wales as well. And excuse me.
He does an amicable job of getting the rest of the information out, but you can hear him holding back the laughter.
On that note, I'll hand you back to Rory.
Thank you, Thomas. You made it. Well done.
Number 16, a simple mistake. It doesn't matter if you've got an OBE like the multi-talented Michael Ball, you can still be prone to the odd cock-up. Though, in all honesty, this one doesn't seem that bad. Michael accidentally misses the show's jingle.
Thank you very much, Jason. Oh, I've done the wrong thing. Oh, imagine there's been a jingle.
But it's his reaction to the blunder that makes this clip so hilarious.
I love live radio. I really do.
Live on the BBC Sound.
You know you're listening live.
That's the sound of infectious laughter.
I'll gather myself together while we listen to Madonna.
Number 15, advice from a legend.
Hollywood superstar, give it up for royalty in the building. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger!
When you've got Hollywood royalty on your radio show, you'd best be on your best behaviour. But sometimes being too polite can lead you to missing the point. When Arnold Schwarzenegger was brought in as a guest on the Breakfast Crew's show, he had this advice about making money.
What's the easiest way to make money?
Which one? The first and most important thing is, everyone tells you that the first million is the hardest to make.
Right.
Yeah.
So start with the second million.
Right.
Hello? It was supposed to be funny, guys. Come on, wake up.
They were too busy agreeing with everything he said that they failed to realize it was a joke.
Jesus. Get your act together.
He's going to tell us what. I'm like, I want to be a millionaire.
The memory of that awkward silence must still haunt them. Number 14, he's not Finnish. An absolute classic in sports radio call-in history has to be this conversation about Finnish football player Antti Niemi.
I'm phoning, about Craig Brown's selection for the Scotland squad.
Yep.
He must know that Hearts have got a good team. We get Colin Cameron in the squad, Stephen Presley.
Yep.
I just don't know why for at least 3 seasons he's been ignoring Antti Niemi.
The caller rang in, baffled that Niemi wasn't being used by the Scotland national team manager, and that's when the host and former player Arthur Albiston had to correct him.
Antti Niemi.
Aye, I don't know why he doesn't get a game.
For Scotland.
Aye.
He's from Finland.
He's what?
He's Finnish, isn't he?
He's not finished. He's only 28.
No, not finished. He's from Finland.
Well, years later, it would be revealed that this was actually an elaborate prank pulled by the caller, but that won't stop us from revisiting it time and time again.
His nationality is Finnish. He's from Finland.
He's not Scottish?
No.
Oh, I thought he was Scottish.
Number 13, mistaken identity. Look, it's live radio. There's about 1 million different mistakes you can make, but this is probably one of the worst.
Gary, afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good to get you on the programme. What's the problem?
What's the problem? What problem? We haven't got a problem. What are you saying?
In this segment on BBC Radio Cornwall, presenter Lawrence Reed was set to talk to the owner of a skip company, but the caller seemed a little reluctant to reply to him.
Well, you run a skip company, don't you?
Sorry?
Do
No.
you run? You don't run a skip. You don't run a skip company.
I don't. This is Gary Johnson, the Torquay manager. And it's not April the 1st, is it?
No, clearly not.
Yes, indeed, it turns out the wrong call had been patched through to Lawrence, and he was left, we assume, completely red-faced. We don't know who we feel worse for in this situation.
So, hang on a sec. Let me just... Right, Gary, thank you. Right, what's gone wrong there, then?
I've called the wrong person, Lawrence.
You've called the wrong person?
Yes, my fault.
Right, Gary...
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Number 12, botched immediately. Alright, imagine you're a radio presenter, you're just about to start your show, you've psyched yourself up, the music hits, and you start your opening line, and you fall at the first hurdle this badly.
Hello, good evening. Chris Arnold here with you until 10 p.m. Hope you've had a good day. Lots to come tonight. Right, okay.
That pregnant pause says more words than any knee-jerk reaction could have. Poor Chris Arnold would later take to Twitter to apologise for his crudeness. Number 11, a bizarre tribute. Following the death of the vile, disgusting creature that was Jimmy Savile, BBC Radio Ulster presenter Karen Patterson was discussing him on her show. It's here that she read out a message from one of the listeners without taking into consideration what it might have meant.
A few of your texts coming in here this morning, an alternative view on the Jimmy Savile story. This texter says, I wish everyone would stop criticising Jimmy Savile. He was a nice man. When I was 8, he fixed it for me to milk a cow blindfolded.
That's a strange one.
Later on the show, when Karen and her team caught the prank, she was forced to apologise for the gaffe, but the damage was already done.
And actually, on the point of texts and tweets, unfortunately, earlier in the programme, I was the victim of a prank text about Jimmy Savile, which I mistakenly read out rather naively. I'm very sorry if I've caused any offence, but apologies, it was a genuine mistake.
Number 10. Who? You can probably recall a time when your slightly out of touch buddy or parents might have said the name of a popular musician and completely messed it up. Well, sometimes that happens with radio presenters too, and here we recall the funniest attempt to read out the group Boys to Men.
The song Old Town Road, a mashup of banjos and bass, has broken the record for longest stretch at the top of the US Billboard record chart. Lil Nas X's hit has now spent 17 weeks at number 1. That's longer than Despacito in 2017, or One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boys 11 Men in 1995. BBC News.
In fairness, the name is spelt with Roman numerals, so it would probably look like an 11 on paper. But still, we can't believe someone in the back didn't inform him beforehand. Number 9. Classic Margolyes. Honestly, you can't bring Miriam Margolyes anywhere. She's bound to say something particularly naughty, so we can't really understand why BBC Radio 4 thought they'd be safe having her on for a live radio interview.
I never thought I'd be...
Oh, no, it's all right.
No, you can
we're
speak
live
on.
on air.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I thought I'd be sitting in the seat.
Justin will help you
Jeremy
out
Hunter's
of the
just
seat.
sat in, is what you're about to say.
In this instance, she was the next guest on the show after former Chancellor of the Exchequer, Jeremy Hunt.
When I saw him there, I just said, "You've got a hell of a job. The best of luck." And what I really wanted to say. You
oh, no, you
bastard,
mustn't say that.
But you can't say that.
Yes, no, you can't say that.
At least she didn't hide how she felt. Number 8. I'm a what? Another prank here, but what could possibly be more humiliating than being tricked while having the whole nation listen to it on radio? How about if it also happened to be a live episode in BBC's Philharmonic studio with an audience in attendance?
Thank you for all the tweets that come here as well. We've got them on the big screen here so the audience can see them. I'm at Hunt as Alex Ferguson. Oh no, as Ferguson.
That's exactly what happened to Mark Chapman, who immediately caught his blunder after reading a tweet by Mr. McHunt.
Oh,
you just cannot get this
Sorry. Oh, dear.
That geezer at home must be laughing.
Yeah. You've got me. I apologise to everybody listening. I do. You've got me. It's the oldest one in the book.
He plays it off very well, but he'll definitely be thinking twice about having audience participation in the future.
Seriously though, I'm not even facing you lot at the moment. I'm turning the other way because I've gone so red. Seriously, that is wrong, and I shouldn't have said it. And I apologise. Don't make it worse.
Number 7, Cleese. Alongside Miriam Margolyes, inviting John Cleese onto your show is a surefire way to get yourself into trouble with the execs.
And then when I walk out, I have to say there is a lovely reception, because if you make people laugh, and it doesn't matter what a kind of shit you are, because if you look at some mind your language.
You'd think people would have learned this lesson by now, but there's a particular word Cleese is known to drop every time he appears on radio interviews.
Now, am I allowed to say no, all right.
Perhaps they should open his interviews with a foul language warning for those who can't handle the occasional F-bomb.
What about my flight that I wasted? Well, you were the highlight of my trip. It was you or Jimmy Carr.
I was sick. You.
Number 6, Don't Stop Me Now. There's nothing like the thrill of your call being picked on live radio, so when such an opportunity comes, you need to make the most of it. Maybe send a shout out to your mates, tell your wife and kids you love them, or simply tell the DJ how much you love their show. Oh yeah, there's one more option you can take, which is to tell the world how you feel about a certain politician.
No, Jessie, everyone's going to love you for choosing a bit of Queen. What track are we playing and why, please?
We're playing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, because Matt Hancock's a
Okay, so we've got to cut him off there. This is live radio. This kind of thing happens. I can only apologise if you've got children listening in the car. I'm going to play the tune. Huge apologies. It is live. And here's the song.
Number 5, So Cold. Message to all sound engineers, make sure that the mic is not left on when the next presenter is setting up for their show. Otherwise, you might end up in a situation like this. While Winifred Robinson was still running her show on BBC Radio 4, another presenter was doing the mic check in the other room.
The lenders, sorry to keep interrupting, but it was the lenders paying them this commission. You were paying the commission.
Well, there's nothing wrong with commission testing. The dealer does work
cold
in order to sell a car and to sell finance.
Jesus
right that they
Christ,
get
it's
income
so
for
cold.
that.
Only the mic was hot and the audience could hear him complain about the temperature of the room.
So what the FCA is talking about is what is a fair type of discretion. For example,
President Erdogan is coming under
a consumer
increasing
who's rightly
international
shopping
pressure to
around
end the incursion
and looking
in
to get
Syria,
the best
but in
rate,
public,
and
he's
why shouldn't a
standing
dealer have
fully behind.
discretion?
The BBC refused to specify who this host was to save them the embarrassment, but Winifred Robinson still had to apologise for the muck-up. Number 4, West Kent what? You really can't blame Nicky Campbell for this one. He was supposed to be presenting a story about the West Kent hunt, but it came out like this.
Georgie Wordsley is master of the Old Surrey and Burstow and West Kent hunt. Is out hunting this morning in Lingfield in Surrey. Good morning.
Good morning to you. That's a bit of a slip of the tongue.
I know, I
wasn't
do
it?
apologise for that.
Yeah, that's rough. But honestly, you try saying West Kent hunt 3 times fast. Campbell has gone on record saying that this was the worst moment on air for him, and it's easy to see why. After all, he did end up doing it again shortly after.
Lots of you are mentioning that they'll still be talking about the West Kent hunt that shall not be mentioned in 500 years' time. I don't believe it.
Number 3, Prince Phillip. The death of Prince Philip had some of the biggest media coverage in British broadcasting history. From news stories to pre-made documentaries, the coverage took up almost every channel, even leading to some complaints from the audience. A moment of this day that will live on in infamy for many, however, was much more concise. His death being announced during a session on BBC Radio 1 Dance.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
It's so abrupt, so nonchalant, and unintentionally perfectly timed with the beat drop that people can't help but play this clip over and over again. Number 2, oh dear. How does this keep happening? It's the word that has to rank towards the top of swears you don't want to slip out while being recorded, and yet, here we are again.
What's happening in the course of the next hour? Well, first up after the news, we're going to be talking to Jeremy Hunt, the Culture Secretary, about broadband. It's 8 o'clock on Monday, the 6th of December.
James Naughty tries to play it off as a coughing fit, but it's quite easy to assume he's holding back the laughter.
Every community in Britain has been promised that it'll have access to the fastest broadband networks within 5 years. Excuse me.
Cue the standard apology to those in the audience who are sensitive to swear words or have children around.
We know from emails thought it funny. Some we also know from emails were fairly offended on a Monday morning, and all I can say is occasionally in live broadcasting these things happen, and I'm very sorry to anyone who thought it wasn't what they wanted to hear over their breakfast.
But what makes this especially funny is that, in reference to the blunder later on, Andrew Marr ended up repeating the same line.
We heard this morning one of the primary examples of the Freudian slip that we're ever likely to hear on Radio 4.
Which we're not going to repeat in quite the terms it happened, but...
but now almost anybody now listening who was listening this morning will be aware of something that was happening.
Jeremy, the Culture Secretary, had his name Freudianly transposed.
Right. He did. Now, of course, why we call this a Freudian slip is the notion that...
Number 1. Ouch. For our final entry, we swing on over to BBC Radio Derby for potentially the funniest slip-up in radio history. Presenter Ian Skye was doing a stand-up job as usual, but made one fatal error when he began playing the jingle that would lead into the next segment.
If you want to upload a track, go to bbc.co.uk/beat.
Apparently, he suddenly got a terrible cramp, which caused this very human reaction. Unfortunately for Sky, this may have proved that his recent trip to a radio presenting improvement class was all for naught.
I went on a course yesterday to learn to be better on the radio. I don't think they suggested suddenly getting unbearably agonising cramp and shouting really loud on the radio. That's probably not what I should have come in and done today. Can I just say, if before that amazing song from Kate Bush, I say if, you'd have had to be deaf if you didn't hear a rude word. I really profusely apologise. You know, when something happens and it's just instinct.
What's the funniest thing you've ever heard on radio? Let us know in those comments below.